I did. Are we good? Awesome.
Yeah, we can see each other clearly, right? You can hear me clearly, no props.
No
Yeah,
problem.
by the way, we're live.
Yeah. Awesome. Nice. We are live. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I should have just let you keep talking.
Probably will be a national embarrassment. But it should
No, you couldn't be. Elliot
You
Reinecke, Elliot Reinecke and Nawar Adra, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee, for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
You're welcome,
Nice
sir.
to see you, Elliot. Yes.
Elliot, Nawar, and you two haven't met before, so
Nope.
I wanted to. This is a really exciting opportunity for everyone because we get to talk about some stuff that's different for both of you, but the same for both of you. So it's my pleasure to introduce the two of you to each other.
Yes, nice to formally meet you.
I know, me too, man. I heard a lot about you that, you've got a new project going on and some exciting stuff happening.
Yes, we have too many projects going on almost, I feel, but not really. But
with regards to new projects, cheers to Elliot and happy Amazon Day.
Thank you.
To Elliot and Steady State Roasting. Cheers. And congratulations on the fact that you almost sold out on your first day of being on Amazon.
I think we did.
Hold on, you put your coffee on Amazon?
I did?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I'm pretty sure it's sold out by now. Like a couple of hours ago, they only had 5 bags left.
Yeah. Wow. Good on you, man.
Thanks. We did good. We're an interesting. I took a screenshot. We are currently ranked #1 for Amazon hot new releases in the roasted coffee arena. And there's a picture of our bag next to an Illy bag and a Starbucks bag as being second and third. So,
isn't that amazing?
Wow.
I'll kind of take that as a minor victory.
Hey, we take what we can, right?
Can I ask?
No, you're not allowed to ask any questions, I don't think, on the podcast.
No, not on this podcast. No questions.
Yes, please ask anything.
What were the challenges to get on, like, a client like Amazon, or what did you have to do? That's very impressive.
Thanks. We've been building it up for a couple months. I can tell you one of the challenges is we are currently sold out of coffee, and people are continuing to buy coffee, and we need to fulfill more orders, obviously, already. So we already have a good problem. Everyone keeps saying it's a good problem, but they're out of coffee at Amazon, and people keep ordering it, and we need to get it to their fulfillment center ASAP. And we currently were out of coffee to roast for the night today, which will be here on Thursdays.
Wow.
So that was a huge problem. We spent the last few months, we interviewed a few brokers. We have a third-party broker that's helping us sell. They help with the keywords, the inventory fulfillment. We hired a professional photographer and spent a day or so taking a bunch of pictures. And he also took video because we're going to make a video and talk about our story and all. So it wasn't just we're going to sell our coffee on Amazon. Here you go. It was, we've been working on it for a couple of months really in the background. So
here a sample. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
How many bags do you need to ship to them?
Right now we need to get them about 200 or 300 bags probably.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
dude, this is insane.
Yeah,
it's America, bro. What do you want?
Hey, we're like small little dudes here. Hello.
Yeah, I know.
Fighting for no reason.
Yeah.
You could come and release Pitch Coffee up here.
Well, I think the future is this. So my focus is here really. I mean, Stitch Coffee is fun, but I think building and doing a change is definitely a community can do better than individuals.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us what CRS is for anyone who's listening to this podcast later and not live and couldn't see what Nawar was pointing to his boob. He was pointing to his boob, and it says
chest. Let's call it chest.
He was pointing to his man chest. And,
yes, thank you.
And it said CRS on it. For anyone who watched the podcast that Nawar was on last time, obviously Nawar and I are very familiar with each other. He's like my brother, and we absolutely joke like brother and sister. So don't be surprised if this whole podcast is filled with shit like that.
Yeah. No, we'll be fine. Don't worry. What does CRS stand for? It stands for a Collective Roasting Solutions. So when I first started the company, I just wanted to make sure that it is a solution service provider, and it's here to support whoever wants to be part of the coffee community. Really, I mean, it could be a school teacher. We have one of them that loved to roast her coffee, and then she started with us 1.5 years, and now she's at PCP.
That's awesome.
We didn't really have like a specific one type of person who can join in. We just like whoever who's want to be part of it and really want to learn about roasting and help engaging and be part of the community and help others as well to learn more about it. So we just said welcome. So that's pretty much what Collective Roasting Solutions stand for. It has to be a service that we have to be open to a lot of people. We cannot be just selective, and that will, I think, limit our creativity and moving the whole industry forward. So,
you've been real game changers in the Sydney coffee industry, haven't you, with regards to the way that you're empowering people to take control of their profit margins?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, in Australia, we've got a big struggle at the moment. Our wages is really high, so that's something we can't change. The rent is quite high as well. That's something we can't change. But something we're really suffering to change is the price of the cup, which is like, it's been $3.50 for the last how many years?
Dude, it's more than that over here. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like freaking 15 years we've been selling the same coffee, and everybody wants better quality product and stuff. And it's kind of like, how are you going to do it? And this is where we answer the question, making your own thing or your own jam is always cheaper than buying it. And this is the same concept. Roasting your own coffee will help you have a better quality to start with. You control it from the inside out. And at the same time, it's beneficial financially as well, and educational learning. And I think it's a natural progression for any people who was in the coffee industry. I mean, that was my dream since day one.
Dude, I remember day one. Day one, he was standing at a coffee machine with me, and we were making coffee for all of fucking Bondi, and. He told me that he was going to open a business, and this is what he was going to do, and decided right in the middle of that clusterfuck to start showing me.
What am I about?
He's like right in the middle of a sea of people wanting coffee and a docket machine vomiting out tickets. Nawar's like, let me show you the logo.
Yeah. Let me tell you about my sugar company.
The reason he says that, I'm like, I fucking hate the name, bro. Seriously, CRS, it sounds like a sugar company. Because there is a CSR is a sugar company in Australia.
Yeah. But I think
you've got to change your name. No, you did great, and it's doing amazing in Sydney. And Elliot has a bit of this is the first time he's going to talk about this publicly, but there's actually not a random reason these two are on the podcast together. So I was there at the beginning of Nawar's business as his friend, and as his business and my business were being birthed at the same time. And I've been Elliot and I are friends, and we've been working together on Steady State and some progressions that he's making with Steady State. And now Elliot's got a bit of an announcement to make, don't you?
I do, yeah. We are going to do our best to follow in your footsteps and open a co-roasting. I still don't know what to call it. I keep saying co-op, but it's not actually a co-op. And but I guess collective roastery here in San Diego. So
nice.
There's only a couple in the States, and they're all very far away. So
yeah. sorry, trouble. What's your vision for it? I just want to know.
I think I started my company because I wanted to make the best coffee that I could. And my vision, my main driving force in doing this is everyone coming together kind of as a community and working on making coffee better together in a way, really. From everything from sourcing coffee, from sharing roast profiles, brewing techniques. I mean, everything. That's kind of how I envision it in my head. I guess we'll see how it pans out. We have a couple things Lee and I have been working on that we might try that are kind of a little different. But I don't really know much about it. It's pretty hard to get information on any of the ones that are available in the US, how much it costs, what else they offer besides just roasting.
I can tell you a little bit more about it because we've started it here. Actually, I bought a roastery already existed in Sydney from a friend of mine called Farah, and there were already like 4 people roasting there. Scooter Lane just started, Artificer were there, Rebel Roasters. And then when I took over, we were doing probably like 500 kilos max.
A
and after a week, yes. And now after 2.5 years, I think we're around 2.5 to 3 ton.
Nice.
So we've started from 4 people to become 40 members.
Okay.
In here, and we've got
That's
6
fucking
roasting
crazy,
machines.
Nawar.
Yeah.
So how many roasters were there when you started? Roasting machines, not people.
Just one.
All right.
we started with Gießen W15. That was our first roaster, and then we moved on, and we're like, you know what? We want a Probad because we believe in the Probad philosophy and how it works. So we got a 25 kilo Probad. Then I've got a 5 kilo Probad, and then 1 kilo Probad after that, and then I was like, we need to find some, because that's something really I want to talk to you about a bit further later with the machinery that you're going to choose, and how important it is for everybody who wants to open a roastery.
Right.
Because it's not just the roasting that is the only transaction you're going to do here. There's so much more involved in it.
Right.
And after that, I've chose Loring, and we've got an S70. She's waiting to be turned on.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, because I've been looking on all of your Instagram pictures.
It didn't take long at all. It didn't take long for it to get to Aussie coffee industry smut. There we go.
Yeah. So the Loring is in the house, and we kind of admire it every day. And I've added another L5, which is an L series Probad, and because we got 2 warehouses, so not just one.
Yeah.
In Sydney, it was quite hard to find one big warehouse, because location is super important.
Yeah.
When you do a collective, like you can't be just outskirts somewhere and expect, because they're all baristas. They just finished work. They're tired. For them to come and drive all the way there, some of them have family, so that kind of you have to take that into consideration choosing a location for it.
Gotcha.
And so we've got the 6 of them now. We're trying, turn all of them on and get more people involved, and we're doing a bit of education training, and there's possibly a 3rd space as well that could come up, but yeah,
that's interesting.
The only advice for it is that you have to keep going.
And
I think that happened with Bullies or Coro as well. I think they started with 1 roaster, because I was listening to one of their podcasts, and now that got 6 Loring. I don't know.
Yeah,
they got a lot. And they were like, I think after 1 year, they're like, no, we have to add another 2 or 3. And then you find that, you should.
Yeah.
You cannot just stop, because you can't say no to people.
Right.
You can't say, you can wait 12 months for the roaster to come.
Yeah.
And start roasting. I think you have to be ready for it. You have to meet the demand.
That's good.
the secret.
Yeah, we did have a little bit of foresight, and we did run one extra gas line for a larger roaster in the near future. We also talked to our landlord, and we can take the warehouse space over next to us when we're ready to expand too. So we kind of had this planned, and we kind of thought about it for a while, and we just opened a new cafe 6 months ago, and that's been kind of busy. So I'm able to finally step away from that and get it going. Do you guys in not only do you have the roasters, but do you have a lab, I'm guessing, that you offer everyone access to?
Yeah. I mean, the way we did it is because we don't want to restrict people from being creative in what they're doing. So we had to when we first started, we're like, nah, per kilo, so you can take your time and do what you need to do, per kilo pricing. And then we realized that, once you have few roasters running at the same time, and you have an afterburner and stuff, so you need to be a little bit stricter in a way.
Right.
So we went and said, no, let's do just time on the roaster.
Yeah.
So that way we allow them to kind of cup their coffee, and that create community when it become like a common room as well.
Okay.
So now they can cup together. Before if one person doing just the cupping by itself, so you're not really helping creating community anymore.
You're not learning.
And remember, they're always gonna have their samples taken to their shop to cup. So they're still gonna do that because they're still gonna do it as an espresso or do all the QC they need to be done. But while they are roasting here, and they kind of go upstairs and they roast they cup really quickly, and they'll be like, someone next to them, hey, do you want to try the coffee? Just tell me what you think. So, and this is where it's all started. We didn't have it at the beginning.
The lab
with the lab was very somebody just say see you later.
True Nawar style, he's like, yep, thumbs up. Of course they heard him.
See you later. So before was like, because it was the whole roaster was just a roaster and a square warehouse, but now we have like roaster downstairs, cupping room upstairs and stuff. So now we kind of have like moving particles.
Do you have, what other equipment do you have in your lab besides just cupping? Do you have an espresso machine and all too? Batch
Cool. We have we've got an SP9 running as well, and we've got Uber boilers, the Marco Uber boilers. So that way you have to speed it up a little bit as well. You don't want them to sit there. You want them to kind of cup, because you have to allow opportunity for other people. And we've got a 1 kilo. We've got an Ikawa, which I highly recommend. It's a great sample roaster, and it really helps. What you're gonna realize is that you have to make it as simple as it gets for them. If it was too complicated, it's become harder for them to comprehend. You have
kind of lower all barriers of entry for them, right, to get in there and learn. Because I think people have already kind of gotten wind that we're going to do it, and we have both coffee shops that want to roast for their shop, you know, and we also have people that I think are home roasters and just kind of want to learn and come in and tinker around at the same time. So we already have an array of people that are that's varying levels and varying wanting to learn, and it's already kind of interesting. Like, how are we going to tackle this? I think then you're going to find this wholesaler, right? So you get people that start with just, I want to roast for myself, right? And then they're like, I can do a wholesale business, so that will require more space as well. And what really constrains us a lot as co-op or collective, whatever we want to call it, is the space. See, when you get bigger, green coffee becomes an issue, because you need pallet size. You need. They're not gonna order one bag at a time and pay $100 delivery per bag. So that's something that you might need to kind of consider.
Can you hear him, Elliot?
Or no, it cut out a little bit.
Are you there, Noah?
Am I?
Yeah. Say that again. You're back.
You're back.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, it's the green coffee world as well. So that's something you need to be on top of it as well. Like the way we did it, I did it the free market. So you can get from whoever you want. We have no interference of who you want to buy from and stuff. You know, we kind of facilitate that with the green coffee people as well.
Yeah.
So and then you need to be ready to do warehouse management. Like there'll be a lot of inventory moving stuff and.
Yeah. Do you sell green coffee to clients as well there too, or not really?
No, we don't want to be. I mean, the way we did it is that we have. I mean, you have steady coffee, right? So that's a great opportunity for you to facilitate the newcomers not to have to buy big bulk of coffee, right? They can kind of share with you whatever you have, right?
Right.
So Stitch Coffee does exactly the same concept.
Gotcha.
Right? It helped the new guys to kind of like, hey, I don't want to buy 60 kilo of this and spend $2,000 up front. You know, they don't see the benefits just yet.
When I was roasting in my house and the first time I ever bought 10 pounds of one kind of coffee, I was like, oh man, what have I just done? Like,
yeah, I got one year to go.
$50 on coffee. Yeah. That's what I just did.
You know,
oh well.
Exactly. It's like the easier you make it, the better. However, I didn't put margin and stuff, but transparency is really, really important when it comes, because you don't want to make any mistake, them knowing you're making $1 without telling them.
Right.
You know, I think you just let them know very simple. Look, this is the importer. This is who we buy it from. This is how much it costs. But unfortunately, I have, 5 to 10% on it, whatever you want to do margin.
Right.
But just to show that you've taken the risk, at the same time, and they're just buying it per kilo, So I don't know. It's a system that you have to think about really well. Gotcha. So we try to be as transparent, with everybody with us. So that would keep things simple.
Yeah.
And that way no one focused on how much money you're making instead of focusing what great coffee you have. I want to roast.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's the concept behind it, really.
Cool.
Yeah. And we're working now slightly different, because it becomes really, when you're small is okay, but once you become big and now you're buying a lot of coffee, not just for yourself, for others,
right,
the risk is much greater. So we're working on green coffee people to do like a consignment pallet size, single origin, then them putting it in your warehouse, and then your members will start take it from them. I think that was a lot smarter than us just keep doing what we're doing.
That's a good idea. I've already talked to a couple importers about that too. Like, them having, being able to use it, because we don't really have a hub here in San Diego either. The closest one is Long Beach, which is given traffic like a 2-hour drive, and some of the guys pick up from Long Beach and deliver down here to some other shops. So they were kind of thinking of using it as a hub too, where they can kind of store coffee. They can roast samples and cup them there and have people over to try their coffees, to try to sell green coffee as well. Just kind of like an open community thing.
Exactly. And you know what, we all have one thing in common, you're going to realize, is that they all want quality stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once they want to roast their own, they want one thing. I want my coffee to be the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not about, I want to make it cheaper, because it is cheaper regardless what you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's just right now, it's about how good is this quality? Is it, if it's there, they will grab it. That's
so
what
you're
I've
saying
realized.
If the green is there and available to them, they're going to be more likely to buy that than go and source their own?
Pretty much, yes. That will help them, because the faster you are at cupping, or the first person you are at cupping a delicious Ethiopian washed and nobody just yet have it, so
or natural, bro, don't be Scott Royo.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to make my audience a little bit wider, so I didn't go natural.
Yeah, whatever.
And that could really help a lot, like help us as a collective, and help not only us, not only the green coffee people, as well the farmer will get better price, and now they can do more micro lots because there's more demand for little micro lots than mass produced coffee.
Right.
So that's kind of a win from the roaster point of view all the way down to the farmer point of view. So
are you sourcing directly from importers, or do you actually get involved in the buying of the green at origin?
We cannot do that. I mean, it's pretty hard. I wish we can do direct trade and move it, but there's a lot of money involved, you know, and it's a big risk to take, you know.
At least not at this stage of the business. It's not a reality.
Yes, correct. And the reason why we haven't started green coffee and all that, because we're not really importing it ourselves, to be honest. You know,
that's not your business model yet.
Exactly, you know, and the only way we can do it is when we really realize that, hey, how about we go to Colombia together, and then we source for you, and then we put a bloody container together. But you know what? It's not that easy concept, you know.
No.
It's a whole different world, you know. Which
no, but if you wanted to buy with other people, you know, if you wanted to buy with other, let's say you and Seven Seeds and someone else wanted to get together and go on an origin trip together, then you could get a container, and then it would be worth your while. A lot of people do that here. A lot of businesses buy together.
We're kind of doing it. I mean, I'm gonna do our first Brazilian direct trade pallet. So I'm gonna air freight a pallet from Brazil to here.
Air freight it, bro?
Yeah. It's gonna cost like probably $5.
You're a fucking moron.
Yeah. But you know what? I want. It's a great experience, and I just wanna see what it's like. You know, what is it like to deal with a farmer?
Oh yeah, but why are you air freighting it?
Because you can't put it on a container. You need to logistically, it's not that easy. You have to have someone else ordering and putting on, you know, on this. It's gonna take so much time, and you have to take it through. Yeah, it has to go through a co-op in Brazil, so it's either can go to Karma or go to another mill for them to put it in their container to ship it, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering. Like, why aren't you putting in someone else's container?
Yeah, then we'll go through a lot of logistics and go through a lot of hands. So we want to make it as direct as it possibly
So instead of it
get,
costing you $5 a pound, it's going to cost you $35 a pound.
Pretty much. That's
for Brazil.
The price. It's a delicious Brazil.
Okay. Of course it is.
Sure.
This is how Australians charge ridiculous prices for coffee. They just air freight the whole fucking thing.
You know, why not?
I know.
Let's learn something. You know,
dude, you've got some of the biggest balls in the Australian coffee industry, so I'm not surprised.
No, I just want to experiment and experience, you know. I think we're learning, and that's something you will realize. There'll be so much learning about human behavior than it is about coffee when you work with so many people.
He knows that now. Let me tell you.
I still have barista shifts in our cafe. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are you gonna open a coffee shop?
In a coma for 3 years today.
Yeah.
I met a guy that was in a coma for 3 years today, and he told me he's a miracle boy. Yeah, it was actually kind of. Actually, Jeff from Ally was here, and we were cupping some samples, and he came in. He was very nice, a little spacey, hippie-ish kind of, and you know, but he was super nice, and we were nice to him. He's just loving our coffee and hating on Starbucks and stuff like that. And then we're like, all right, we're kind of closing. It's time. We're trying to like get the guy out the door. Like, stop saying thank you. Stop saying thank you. Like, have a good day. You know, how many have a good days can you say? Thanks for coming by. And then he tells us he was in a coma for 3 years, and they never thought he'd wake up because he got in some gnarly accident and hit on the head. And then he's like, and I'm still not all the way there. I've had problems chewing. And you're like, oh, wow. He's like, yeah, I'm a miracle boy any day on this side, this side of the earth, and upright and breathing the salt air is good. And it's kind of like,
it gives you a whole different perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah. You're like, hey, do you want to have a seat and can make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something?
Yeah,
right. We can open.
He's not like those people who see you like, how many times, Nawar, we're closing the shop It's clearly closed. All the chairs in, all the doors are down, and people banging on the doors. Are you open? Are you open?
We have those. We have a select few people that come 2 minutes before we close all the time.
And they love to chat.
They love to chat, and they want their coffees for there. And you're like, okay.
You got to do it, my man. You know, you're the ambassador.
You got to do it.
Community. That's exactly right.
And you want to be really nice, but you know, staff wages. If you can't close the door, someone's going to have to be there, and it's like, no, we can make it for you in a takeaway cup. But, and even that, they're like, oh, that's cool. We'll have it in a takeaway cup, and we'll just sit and drink it here.
Great.
Fucking take a hint, man.
So it's going to be interesting to see all the types of people that we get coming into the roastery. I think it'll be great, truthfully, obviously.
I'm so excited, Elliot.
It's going to be really awesome. Like, and there will be a lot of artists in them, you know. So that's
say that again. There'll be a lot of artists.
Artists in them, you know. They are artists. They're doing, you know, coffee.
Right.
And
he's gone again.
Oh boy.
I think I'm sorry.
That's
got a call. Yeah, I'm back. And they realized that they
who was it? Who called? Did you want to take it?
No, I'm good.
Are we interrupting you, Nawar?
No, just a little bit. I think it's the you have to give them the time they need. You know, you really need to make sure they are all their fear is answered, all their uncertainty is there, and this is where it comes down to really important to know the machinery you're buying.
Right.
I don't know what machine you're gonna get, but
we already have one, and I don't know what our next one is gonna be. Literally, I have no idea.
Do you want an advice? Or?
Yeah.
Wait, you know what? Is there anyone that's got a San Franciscan in Australia?
I worked on a small one, but I think Bill's Bean does have a San Franciscan in Australia, but not many. I work on a pound roaster, 1 pound, and I'm not sure. I don't know the philosophy much about San Franciscan, but I think it's kind of close to Probat, I guess, or Joper.
Yeah.
Then it's not really a Diedrich, is it?
No, definitely not. Yeah. Kind of closer to a Probat and a. But that's what we have now. We have a 12 kilo SF. We have a little 2 kilo. We're gonna get a little Mill City sample roaster. Even though you just recommended the Ikawa, but I think we still want to get the Mill City. So the question then would be, we have a 12 kilo, a 2 kilo sample roaster. What's the next roaster that we get?
Okay, well, I think we are an answer for market demand, right? So it's important for us, especially opening a new business or a new ideology or whatever you want to call it, is that we need to have equipment that people really want to touch or use.
Right.
It's really important. It's going to leverage what we do, you know, and investing in high-end quality equipment, it's always beneficial for us, you know, because everybody, let's say lowering is the new thing. We either believe in the philosophy or not.
Right.
But I think a lot of people want to use a lowering, and for us to have that available, accessible, and us learning about it, it's just going to make us stronger.
Right.
You know, and this is how I look at things, right? So we've got the Geesons, we've got the L series, we've got the P series, we're doing the Loring, we've got the Ikawa. So we've got all this toys and equipment that people want to, you know, engage themselves with it because they believe it is
they believe it is the thing that they need to make good coffee, right?
That's right, you know, and you need them. You really need them. And San Franciscan is a very popular roaster in the US.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a great roaster, and I hear a lot of great stuff about it.
So we like ours for sure. I would buy one again, definitely. And I would recommend it to people.
And what goes down to as well is how easy it is for them to repeat a profile on that equipment. That's super important because a lot of them don't have a production
protocol
experience. Yes, no production. Like we are baristas. I know if I press this button, I'm gonna get 30 out.
Yeah.
At 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
But what if today is a bit colder and it's not following the curve? What do? Do I increase the gas, or do I just keep it at 80% that I had it on?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How much advice do you kind of give people? If something like that's occurring, if they ask, do you actually tell them, or do you say?
You have
can I ask a different question on that though, Elliot?
Yeah,
like what's the education protocol that you have there? You know, like how far do you go into education with regards to all of your clients?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I haven't opened one yet. I don't
he
know.
hasn't opened one. Like we're both asking these questions of you, dipshit.
I wasn't aware of it. I'm doing this? Well, it depends who they are, right? So for people like, who knows their stuff, Grayson Taylor and all that, they've got their own philosophy. Wow. But whoever coming next, we heavily involved in what they do.
Okay.
So in terms of, we show them, we'll be consulting for them for like at least 2 months. We'll be cupping with them. We'll be choosing the green coffee with them. We will show them how to be repetitive. And we teach them a lot about the roaster, how it works, what expectation.
Is that a part of the package? Like, is that a part of what Collective Roasting Solutions offers if you become a client?
Yes.
And is that an extra charge?
Will be, because consultation only happen as long as they need you. You don't want to keep charging them for something that now they can do a computer science. Because after a while, when you build a profile, when you have your green coffee for 3 months. Yes, exactly. 3 months inventory. You just might need to ask us a couple of questions, but you don't need us to be there all the time. And you don't want to be there all the time because it's going to restrict you a lot. You know, the idea is you give them the power to take their own responsibility of their own product. Otherwise, it's become you contract roasting for them, really.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're just watching, and you don't want that to happen. You want them to make that errors as well, because you learn from the mistakes, right? They're like, oh damn it, I left this, or I left the gas a little bit too long, or I should have fixed it, or you know what I mean? So
totally.
Yeah, so you need to give them that opportunity. It's very, very important.
So I remember in the beginning, Nawar, there were people who had a problem with other people being able to see them roast. Do you remember when you first opened, like some people didn't want anybody else there to see their, do you remember that? People were very precious about that. How do you manage that now, given that you have 6 roasters?
I think after a while, and after being very consistent and really kind of promote the idea of community and working together, and moving to Alexandria actually helps us a lot, because now you can have 2 guys roasting side by side. You can have 3 guys roasting side by side. So it become less barriers between each other, and it's actually, there's a lot of collaboration now. There's a lot of work, like, new paradigm, calling Namiro, who worked for Stitch and CRS, but telling him, hey man, let's do this Kenyan together. Let's roast together. Let's put a live video that we are, roasting it together, and start sending it out there to show more collaboration. And it took only 1.5 to 2 years. So
it took that long. Like it was, I remember in the beginning, people didn't want the cameras on while they were roasting. How can we make sure that nobody's going to copy our roast profiles? It's like, shit, like this could be prohibitive to Nawar's mission, if, like, especially because it's collective roasting solutions, and people are like, turn the cameras off. We don't want anybody else in here while we're roasting. It's kind of against the idea of what the business is about.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't that too extreme though. But what happened down the track is that everybody started to have their own crops. nothing wrong with that. I think it's fair enough. It is an IP at the end of the day, but they don't mind to share their roast philosophy. So, you know, soaking for half a minute or a minute,
half an
applying
hour,
gas. Yeah, sorry. It's a bit of a long roast,
That's
man.
a soak and a half, mate.
We're double drying.
Great.
That's right.
It's a new roast philosophy. You heard it here on the Map It Forward podcast first.
That's right. So
double drying.
Double drying.
That's what we're calling it.
Double roasting too, you know, you never know. And then it works out really well after a certain period of time. I'm doing a lot of cupping together. You know, sometimes we choose green coffee. Now we put palette together. So now we're asking now you ask, hey, is there someone else bringing coffee to CRS as well, so I can share the palette with them? So this is, you know, it started.
Right, exactly.
You know, now they rely on each other. And I think it's really fun now. It's got its own different challenges, you know, because now they can talk. So if you do a mistake, everybody will know about it. Before it was one person. So, you know, so that way, that's really promote transparency even more.
Yeah. Speaking of mistakes, have you done anything in terms of fire suppression, like, you know, ran water lines into the drums and all? Anything like that?
No. We've done we haven't done any of that. No.
Okay.
We've been as clear as we can.
Yeah.
I guess from the beginning. I did have a lot of hiccups when I first started, you know, and I think every businessman will do a bit of a mistake.
Oh,
business
yeah.
Person.
Huh?
Business person, not just businessman.
Yeah. Yes, business person. That's right. I do apologize. Thank
you.
And yeah, so we did a little bit at the beginning, you know, had a bit of a partnership, fall off, and things happen, but we've kind of recovered really quickly. And, you know, as soon as you realize your mistakes and you act upon it, I think people will be very understandable, you know.
Okay.
But other than that, really, I mean, it's just been like, let's just keep growing and growing and growing and get more people involved, really, you know, and support as much as
How did you do that? How did you bring more people to the well? I mean, that's something that every business owner that's listening is going to be interested in.
I think the lucky part that we're doing is that, first of all, we're not acting sale kind of driven. So we don't have someone out there knocking doors and, hey, do you want to roast your own coffee kind of thing. You know, we've been doing a lot of free education. Like we did Roaster Smackdown. And to the Roaster Smackdown, we did like 20 latte art, or we did brewing competition. So we kind of like just kept bringing the community and asking them to come in and check us out, see what it's all about, come feel the roaster, touch it, you know, build that.
The roasting machine or the actual roaster?
Both.
With the machine not on and hot.
Yeah, you know. Did that happen? I'm not sure. Trying to reflect if it did happen. But it was funny because there were like 3 guys, I remember. And one of them, we were doing a roasting class, and we asked a few of them to kind of open the door, and I've seen the emotion in their faces, like this is the best thing ever happened to them.
Oh, wow.
You know, just to simply open the door, let the bean out. I was like, wow, you know. And I think we started this way, and we've never showed, you know, that we being aggressive in the way we deal with things. So we just focus on what we do, really, and do it as good as we possibly can.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that was really the philosophy, and just continuous improvement. No one is perfect. You know, you improve every day. Like every day they go and they come back after a few weeks, or they'll see new sealing equipment. They will see a new packing machine. Oh shit, it's a new roaster.
Right.
So, you know, you're showing them progression, that you're not stagnated where you are. And that way they could see, I'm putting the money in the right place.
Gotcha.
So they're paying a company that is giving back, you know, and that's really important.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you offer, sorry, Elliot, I think that there was a question that you were about to ask,
Nope.
But I just want to ask quickly, do you offer a whole bunch of ancillary services as well? So do you let people, can people hire the bagging machines? Can they hire, I don't know, sealers and stuff like that? Or is that all part of it?
It's all part of it. Yeah.
So you organize time on the roster and they can, all their bagging and whatnot. Does that include, is that included as time on the roster or? Oh, wow.
No, just the time. The time is only on the roster. And what you realize is that it becomes a culture.
Oh, cool.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just formalization of every little step you do, but us as warehouse managers, or it's just, we have to make sure the layout and everything that goes around fit to the culture. So what I mean by that, you make sure that you have a weighing machine that is fast enough, so they can do it faster now, you know, without telling them it's time for you to go home.
Yeah, have you ran into the issue of people maybe not getting along awesome, and they're like, I want to bag my coffee now, but Joe's still over there on the bagging machine, and he's been there for an hour and a half. And when am I going to get to bag my coffee? Have you ran into anything like that? Do you make them kind of book time to do that, or not even?
We did.
Yeah.
We did have that, and we just kind of was more of an open conflict, so that they just talk to each other about it, you know. So we're like, if you get his acceptance, bag a couple of those, you know. If he's happy for you, then you do it. If they're not happy, then you just have to wait, you know. So, and they kind of talk to each other. So it's more like, becomes more like a friendship.
Okay.
Do they generally all act like adults, or?
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's the coffee industry, so fuck, who knows what could happen. But do they genuinely act like professionals and adults, and they want to take care of themselves and each other, or are they quite bitchy and no, this is my shit?
They do actually, you know, because there is no friction.
There's no competition between them, really, is there?
Yeah. There's no competition. There's no friction. There's no, you know, my band is better than yours kind of thing, you know. It's
very Aussie reference there, Noah. I'm very proud of you.
know. So it's more like, you know, we're here to do one thing, and you know, I can wait a little bit. It's okay. But this is what I did, though. I opened another weighing station. So you see, you always need, without changing a lot of rules around, you just facilitate something else. So you
facilitate the growth, right, that you're kind of experiencing. Yeah,
that's right. And that's really because then you build a lot of loyalty, and, you know, people kind of, they're used to it, you know. Nobody want to change every you know, to another road, what they're doing just for the sake of saving 50 cents. Sometimes, you know, they just want to be there, right, because they see a bigger picture, and this is a culture you're building, and it's bloody take a long time, you know.
Right.
And that's what make it a lot different. And this is your point of differentiation. So not only machineries, not only sealing and all that kind of stuff, is the culture you're building,
right,
you know. And
do you notice a camaraderie that exists between people who are like CRS roasters, even out in the community? Do you see that forming?
Say that again. Can you elaborate?
Do you see a sense of camaraderie, so that if you all go to an event that's not being held at CRS, do you notice that CRS roasters all kind of hang together and find a camaraderie amongst each other?
Yeah. Funny. It does happen. They kind of like, you know, become. We are CRS, you know. I think we are one of the first company that, you know, a lot of people roast their own, which is true. There is, but nobody say where.
Okay.
You know, it's very rare you find that, you know, when I was at Brewtown, I could ask, you know, the guys that used to roast there, where do you roast? You know, a place, a friend roastery or somewhere. And now people are using the term CRS a lot. That's, you know, and that's really an achievement for us, you know, because it's a brand recognition, and for me, that's all I needed. Like, you know, I'm not really You know, profit is important. Yes, you need to make money because you have to invest in all those things. But from a long-term point of view, having a community and knowing to be the best at what you're doing is a lot more beneficial than just, you know, how much is your profit making, you know, or your margin out of it. So, and people saying, hey, we roast at CRS now. So now I got the wholesale guys calling me. It's like, hey, bro, everybody roast there or what? You know? You know, what's going on? We can't get somebody anymore, you know? Because we roast at CRS now.
Are you getting a lot of pushback from the big wholesale companies or even the small wholesale companies because people are starting to roast their own?
Well, I don't see. The thing is, we're really still a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, like how big we're gonna get, right?
Yeah, but you're only 2.5 years old. You know,
exactly.
It's still right at the beginning of what it's doing. You're doing 2.5 fucking ton.
Not too bad, you know, but still, you know, we can do it better. We can do a lot better. Having said that, is, you know, like we're doing Map It Forward now, and we realize there's a lot of big guys want to be part of it. So they didn't say no. They've realized, you know what, you can't stop it. You know,
you're right. There's a momentum that's forming that we have no business getting in the way of.
Exactly. You know, you can't just buy and that's it, right? You just have to either be supportive. And I would, if I was a wholesale business and if somebody comes to me and say, like, it might happen with you, like you're wholesaling the coffee, and then one of your wholesale go and say, hey, I want to roast my own. Can I be part of this? You know,
right.
And then, you know, have you ever thought about that?
Oh yeah, sure. Come on in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy to take your money from my left hand or my right hand. Yeah. I really don't fucking care.
Exactly. And that's really the helpful bit where, you know, like you have to allow them to do it, you know, and say, go ahead and we can do it together. And there's always something else you can do.
Yeah, and who knows, they might realize how hard it is, and they'll be like, I'll give you 50 cents more a pound now. Like, fuck that. Like, I can't just create a profile to save my life. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's not easy. So we kind of we tell them this. We do say this. We do like, hey, look, it sounds easy. Well, make it sound easy. I will try to make it sound really smooth when you start that transition, but it needs commitment.
It's like business, though, isn't it, Noah? Like everyone thinks they can do it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you go to an art gallery and you see like this big white thing and then there's little dots on it. I'm like, man, I could have done that. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the difference is we could.
Like yes, that's right. You didn't. You know, but it is fun, and you know, now you can people coming here. I give you a great example. Like, you know, Kingswood is a great example. It took them a year. They really worked so hard on perfecting the blend that they want to do. But now they did it, and now they're doubling what they were roasting since day one, you know, and they're loving it. It's just the team energy is amazing. Like you get this message, you know, John was so happy to spend time with you because we've got a new account and just they're learning about roasting. If they just, because they're going to go back and they're just going to start talking to the client, you know, man, I roasted this coffee. This is delicious. You should, you know what I mean? It's
awesome.
It's really different than I bought this Uraga from this guy and it tastes good.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a whole different level of investment, isn't it? Like there's a pride that comes with the fact that they've roasted their own and they really want you to enjoy it more than anything else because their hands made this happen. So when they pull you that espresso shot, they are so invested in making sure that this tastes amazing because they roasted it too.
100%, you know. But yeah, and that's what make it not just for financial, not only that, but as well, you keep and you retain your staff a lot longer.
How do you mean?
They see that, you know, I'm not just a barista, you know.
Oh, so they're getting their baristas to come in and roast with them?
Yeah, you know, they're giving them the opportunity, you know, and now the roaster saying, I can stick around longer, man. I'm really loving this. And
so it's another giving them a career progression. It's giving them insight into that. That's
100%. 100%. And this is what you need. I mean, the only reason why we have people moving away from the hospitality industry, because they don't know where they're moving next. Like, what's the next step for them, you know? And
well, I can't wait for us to do this mapper forward thing, because it's going to absolutely help them understand where they can go and what they can do.
Yeah, and this is where at least we kind of part of it. You know, that hey, do you want to? Yeah, and it's good to know that we're helping a lot of people achieving some of their dream, because it was my dream, man. Like when somebody called me 5 years ago and say, "Hey, we bought a 5 kilo Probat," I was like, "It's my resignation. I'm going there tomorrow," you know. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am, you know. So.
No, what's your background? I know what your background is. I'm asking for the sake of people who don't know. Like, tell people what your background is, your academic background, your degree and all of that.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm an international student, came to Australia 2005. I had no idea what I was doing. I think they told me I have to do accounting. It's like, yep, okay. I did accounting for a year and a half and then realized, I didn't get it. And was working in hospitality. Then we moved to learn about being a chef. So I did commercial cookery for a bit. Most of my time work as a barista. Applied for skill visa, then went back to university and finished my business degree. I did operation and supply chain and business management. And while I was studying, I've started working in a really good coffee places. Circa after this, I moved to Brewtown, Newtown. Worked with you at Harry's. We work at Edition, and I've kind of know so many people in the industry. And the opportunity came up, and I started CRS then. So
the reason I say that is because, like, I don't want people to think like Nawar just pulled this shit out of his ass. He didn't just know this from nowhere. He's he's not faking his way through this. He's studied, and he has built a network, and he has built relationships, and he knows what he's doing, even though he doesn't really know what he's doing. You know, it's not dumb risk. He's got a good appetite for risk. He's got more of an appetite for risk than most people I know, but it's also calculated risk, because he weighs things up. He knows how to ask people for advice. Nawar's the first one. I remember when you said to me, I can't remember what it was. You were going to see somebody about asking them for their advice on something. And I thought that was very strange for the Australian coffee industry, because Australian males in coffee don't do that typically. And so, Nawar does. He asks people. Know that. Dude, I remember everything, and I pay attention to everything. And I was really impressed when you said to me, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to go and get some advice from somebody. And I remember when you were opening this place, I thought, I wonder how this is going to go, because the beginning was a little bit rocky. In the sense of, there was a business partner to start with, and that didn't work out, and you had to figure out how to navigate that part of the history of the business. And you did it perfectly, and you did it with class, and your customers didn't feel a thing. It was great. And that was a huge learning experience for you, right?
100%. And then I think it was for me that I didn't want to build any uncertainty around the collective, and for me, I had to show people that collective could happen. Like, it was a bit of a hiccup where Stitch account lost another account to one of the guys. Right. And it could be big for a person who could say, why you take blah, blah, blah. Right. It's good that now you can get out of the roaster. You can't roast here. But the thing was, no, shit happened, and it's not just his fault. It's my fault too. So you should accept that, and it's going to happen. And you just
for context, Stitch is Nawar's roasting brand. We keep saying Stitch, and we haven't really qualified that. So Stitch is his roasting brand.
Yeah. So, and you could happen to you, Elliot, as well, where one guy could take one of your accounts, and it did happen.
The competitiveness for wholesale accounts here is pretty intense. So good luck.
So be ready.
Yeah, that's great.
And the way you have to look at it is beyond that, because you have to look at it that, you know what, they're still there. They're roasting with you anyway.
Right.
You know, you've lost this client because of something that it's not your fault. Obviously, it's something happened. The relationship didn't continue, but at least they didn't go outside, and you've lost the whole thing. You know, so and this is how I looked at it, and I kept, you know, peace, and I moved on really quickly. I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yep, that's
you have to be willing to let go, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and another really important point that I was gonna really stress about is make sure when, you know, you buy machineries, they're easy to maintain.
Yep, that's what I do love about the San Fran, because it is made in the U.S. and they're only 1 hour time difference away from us. And every time I call them, someone answers the phone and they help me talk through any problem that we've had. Yeah, they've overnighted a bean probe to us so far when one just shorted out on us, and
that's the most important part, you know, because it's just, if it was just you can call a friend.
Right.
And you can ask them, hey, man, can I just roast there for the afternoon? The friend will trust you. Like, yeah, but when you have like, can I bring my 30 people?
Yeah.
And roast
yeah, when the roaster is booked out the entire week, you know, you got to kind of get that shit fixed fast. So.
Yeah, and you know, their schedule is tied up, so you can't just move them anytime you want to.
Yeah.
It's a bit of it's very interesting what you're going to encounter. Like, it's a bit of an operation nightmare.
Yeah.
There is a breakdown, you know. So, and this is why, like, you know what? I would rather have 2 warehouses than 1.
Okay. Yeah.
So that way, if something happened in one, I can always get them to be at the other one without asking for people help. So it's important to have plan B. Always.
Gotcha. Interesting. It's interesting too, because I was thinking of buying like an older refurbished like Probat UG22, but getting parts and keeping that running may not be the best option, you know.
I think UGs are a great machine. Like, if Probat Series 2 are a bit of a nightmare. They're great, but too much technology and a lot of things can go wrong. And I don't know, I had a bit of a hard time with it. The quality of the cup is amazing, but from an operation point of view, it requires one person, and one person can roast on this machine, no problem, because they can understand it inside out, right? But when you have a machine with a lot of personality issues, then it becomes very, you know, then you become a bit stressed out about it, you know. So, and again, having the help, like choosing San Franciscan machine is a great idea, especially if they are around the corner and they can help you. Easy to clean, because once you start getting bigger, it takes 3 hours to clean a roaster.
Yeah, then it's
not easy.
Yeah, as soon as your roaster starts running 2 days a week to 6 days a week, your maintenance schedule is way different, right? And a lot more challenges and things you never thought of when you first started. That you're like, oh shit, we have to do all this now.
Yeah. So every machine takes us around 3 hours to clean.
Nawar, how many people do you have from your team that are on the floor during the week? Just helping the roasters.
3 of us, two to 3 of us. We have to always be ready if something happens. We always be.
He got a call again.
Yeah. It's because I couldn't get it on my computer. Otherwise, that wouldn't happen. I do apologize.
That's okay.
So yeah, we always need to have that extra person ready to roll at any moment.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And the reason why I chose a little bit different machinery, like especially the lowering, is because of the accessibility of the internal parts of the roaster, where everything is outside, everything is clean, and you can see it, and easy for, like, it's important when you get a technician to come over and have a look at your roaster. You don't want them to spend just 1 hour just to get to the part they're looking for.
Right.
You know, that's another thing why we've chose a slightly different machinery, is because you can just simply take one part.
Right.
And now it took him 5 minutes to get to the core of the problem.
We have another problem here. We don't really have any roaster technicians in the area. Most everyone I know, they kind of do it themselves, or
Well, you can only do it to a certain part.
Yeah.
But you can like I put the burner down every 2 days on the P25, and I clean it and I put it back on every 2 days. Take it down, put it back on. Take it down. To a point where I can do it myself now. Like I just can do it, go under it and do it. And if you don't do it, unfortunately, then you'll have a problem. And but how much I can fix? I don't know how to fix electrical stuff. It becomes really hard.
Exactly.
So that's one of the biggest challenge I think our industry facing at the moment. Is like, yes, it's great. You can buy an amazing, not enough technician, not enough support. Really, they care about is selling you a machine, pretty much, and then good luck finding out, what are you going to do next?
Overstating their capacity. So being that it's an entrepreneurial month here for Map It Forward, anyone listening out there, if you want to start your technician business here in San Diego, we're down. We'll be your first client.
Or anywhere on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is like, we created one of the best machines in the world, but we never thought what happened after roasting.
Yeah.
Like we got the best fan, but it's only that thick and you can't really access the internal of the fan to clean it. I'm like, guys, you're engineers.
Yeah.
At least create a liquid that you can just put it in 24 hours, take it out. It's done. I don't know. I'm not an engineer.
Figure it out.
Figure it out, Tell us what should we do so we don't have to suffer cleaning. And then like there's a lot of bad dust going on here. It's a lot of OH&S issues. Cleaning ducting, it could be pretty bad for your breathing. You need to make sure that you put mask on,
OH&S, for anyone who didn't understand what he was meaning, is occupational health and safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a translator.
Yeah. So is it an Australian thing?
Yeah, OH&S is an Australian thing.
Okay. So you need to wear the right gloves. You need to buy the right machinery. So it's quite intense, and keeping it clean all the time. Ouch.
Yeah.
Dust free. It's hard. So get ready.
Okay.
It's gonna be really fun.
It is gonna be fun. No.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't fucking wait, honestly. Like we've been working on this for a while and then had to park it because he had like Amazon Day to have to contend with. And now that's another good
this is brilliant, and then you being on the Amazon and having to offer
the Amazon
market. No, but not the Amazon, but the Amazon.
I love you.
Mate,
being on Amazon.
Just let it
go. No, it's fantastic. It's great. Only because Amazon only launched it in Australia this year.
Yeah, so probably we're not used to it just yet.
Yeah, you're not used to it.
Get in early.
It's a new thing.
I was just going to say, Nawar, if I was you, I would get my coffee on Amazon right now if you could.
I would buy shares in it. I would do something.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing what we're doing is we're opening a pop-up stores, right? So we did the first pop-up store.
I love the way you say pop-up.
Yes, thank you. We're doing the pop-up store. So we're becoming a pop-up specialist. Isn't
it great the way he says it? It's a pop-up.
Yes. It's a pop-up. And I'm just going to keep saying it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So we opened that pop-up store and it's been, it's like having the opportunity to allow to your members to be on the shelf somewhere or to give them that accessibility to a new market as well. It works really well, and when you rock up, there will be like everybody's coffee on the shelf. And I think that's something pretty new, and I highly recommend it because it's only going to strengthen the community, and it really going to help people understand what the hell is a community and what the hell is a collective, and what does it all mean.
We really need that here, Elliot. We really need something like that in San Diego. It's the ideas that we've got for what we want to do are really going to foster that.
Yeah. and it breaks that barrier, you know. And now they can come try different coffees. We're not a guest roaster. We are the roaster. You know, we are the people behind this. All these guys, even they're buying the same coffee, but taste completely different than the other person. And that tells a lot about our interpretation of how to roast a specific coffee, you know, and our philosophy about it. And you can taste it in the cup. So it's not, you know, it's not just the machine that makes a difference. No, it's the people as well. So
how do you decide that, Nawar, with regards to what coffee you're serving in the pop-up? I'm going to say it like you say it from now on. How do you decide what coffee you're going to be serving at the pop-up?
Given you've got like 30 roasters. Like, yeah, well, that's why we run for almost 6 months, because we allow everyone to have a week. You know, so we call ourselves the most inconsistent cafe in Australia because we changed the milk base, we changed the singles, we've changed the filter, and so we buy a milk base from each one of us.
Wait, what? You buy milk-based coffee from everyone?
Yeah, like we kind of, what I mean is
from everyone. Yeah, the blend.
And singles from, yeah, for the blend we kind of rotate on a roaster base, but for singles and filter it depends. We have to move the stock on the shelf. So you have to be really smart about it, and you know, choose the one that are older than the other and start, because you know you want to have zero waste. You know, you can't just waste this coffee. You know, and this is a great opportunity for all of us to showcase all of them at once, and use their coffee from the shelf and do espresso and filter from it. So yeah, that's how we're doing it at the moment.
Have you ever had to kick anyone out of the like ask a client to leave the co-op?
No.
Has it come like, have you had any difficult clients?
We did have difficult client, I think, but the way we treated them was so nice that they had to come back. Yeah,
You're such a lovable person, Noah.
Yeah, they thought they could do it, but then they realized, not really. We should go back and just, you know, keep it simple and not do it ourselves and get someone else's, you know, headache to deal with machineries and other things. And all I have to do is roast my own coffee, really, you know. So it's only, you know, you have to be careful with the payments, I guess, you know. That's something that you have to, the book and all that, you have to be on top of it.
Yeah.
But other than that, honestly, if you build it as a culture from day one, it will continue that way.
I wanted to ask you about that. The idea of managing cash flow with regards to not just your own cash flow in paying for the green that you're using and paying for the equipment and whatnot, but with regards to people paying on time, and your customers' cash flow to you. So has that been something that's been difficult to navigate? And do you have any advice for Elliot on how you would do things differently from what you've learned?
Yeah, I think what I've learned is, one is shorten the cash to cash cycle as much as you can. Like, don't allow 30 days, don't allow any of that, like maximum 7 days terms,
right?
You know, and be very strict. Like,
settle up kind of at the end of the week for what they did for that week or something.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day,
if they're not prepaying,
yes, because it allows you to invest better. You know, it's not because you want to keep the money, but because that give you that cash flow to get, all right, it's time to buy a bigger roaster now. Woo-hoo!
Right. Yeah.
The cash for it, you know?
Benefits everyone.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It's not just you, because at the end of the day, honestly, it's going to become about them than you.
Yeah.
Slowly, you know, and you want to make it as easy as possible. And if you don't have the cash to buy a bend sealer, instead of just keep doing it like, one by one, you know, that takes so much time and that really break the bag.
Yeah,
it does, you know, because you're always like this and pressing, but now you have a bend sealer, you know. But as long as you can tell them, hey, this is the value, you know, like value of you paying me on time, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, like a machine that a packing machine. I can show it to you live if you guys want.
Yeah,
but
do
a
it.
packing machine.
Show
actually,
us.
that's a good idea. You can see it. How do I turn? Can I turn the camera around? I think you can. But I'll show you a little bit about it. So you've got the lowering here. Then you've got the.
Oh, you just wanted to show us the lowering, and
yeah, I do. I did. Did you see that? And this is the packing machine. So the packing machine itself and the band sealer right next to it. It's cost around 20 grand.
Yeah.
You know, so they're not cheap machineries that people need.
He just got another call.
I'm a busy man. They all and they all.
No, I wanted to ask you with regards to that, if you don't mind. How do you go about planning for these things? How much do you just make your decisions, be like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to go to Silver Chef and I'm going to get a band sealer today. Silver Chef, for anyone that doesn't know, is a business in Australia. And, you know, full disclosure, they are a sponsor of the Mapper Forward event that's happening in Australia. But they give companies money to fund their growth with regards to equipment. I mean, and Nawar uses them.
I did a lot. But the thing, you have to be careful. You have to be, you know, you can actually pay it back. That's very important. But again, like if you understand a little bit more about capabilities, you realize you need to have them in order to grow.
Right.
So you cannot say, I'm going to grow to become 10 ton a week, but I'm still on a 15 kilo decent.
Yeah, no,
unfortunately, it is one massive risk that you have to take, you know.
Yeah.
You have to believe in what you're doing and go and say that, you know what, I will have it here and then I will act upon it, which some people think a little bit differently as well. That people wait for it and then they do it. But because the machines are not off the shelf machineries, and that is the tricky bits, you know. There's 12 months period to wait for that growth to happen. So I don't know. It's like did I do too much or I didn't do it? You know. So it's just something
your risk
that
appetite comes into it here, right?
Exactly. You just have to say, you know what? I'm like, you know what I did before I buy my lowering? I just called my mom and said, hey, are you happy with me? She said yes. Like, okay, I'll buy it. That's exactly what I did.
Did you really?
You know. I did that. I was like,
you're such a good boy.
You're happy with me? She said, yeah, I am. I didn't ask her why. She didn't know what I'm about to do, you know? And, you know, I saw this is important for us because it will allow us to grow and it could make things easier. The easier it makes it, the more consistent it is, the more likely people are happy to be around.
How big's the
more you have 70, so it's the biggest
70
one.
kilos?
Yeah. But we got you know what? Mind you, all my roasters are secondhand. You know, so I've been buying a lot of secondhand roasters, except for the Ikawa. But they were like brand new, almost roasted, kind of.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky with this concept. Having said that, what I found that with getting a bigger machine, it's not just the machine. You know, you need a bigger blender now. You need a lot of things to go with it, right? And,
can your gas line even support all your roasters running at once, or?
Well, thank you, Campos, for helping us doing this because I used to be Campos' old facility.
Also, it was already set up.
Yes.
We're just name dropping through this whole episode. Campos is also a sponsor of the Mapper Forward event in Australia.
I know. It's like, hey, we got the new facility and the old facility. Great. And I kept Campos' name on it. That's, you know, for the history of this place.
Well, they've done a lot for the Australian coffee industry. They really
100%. have. They were the pioneers of the specialty coffee, you know. And
I was one of the baristas.
Exactly, you know, and it was hard to be part of the baristas as well. So it wasn't like you could be a campus barista, you know. You need to be a Superman.
Back then, it was like you just couldn't. Not everyone could do that. It was one of those ridiculous things. I've told Elliot about it before, this whole thing of like, if you made it beyond 3 days as a barista there, it was a big deal.
Exactly.
So crazy place.
So yeah, so we're very lucky to have this setup happening, and that really helped us a lot. But in terms of growth, it's like, yeah, it's good that you have another space that you can open at any time. That's brilliant, because you're gonna need it before you know it.
I think we're gonna need another space besides that one before I know it, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like, we want to do a third one, but the way we want to do a third one is, you know, you have to answer. People have different way of doing things. So some people, they just want to roast. They really don't care about packing. They don't care about storage, right?
Right.
Some people care about all that. So you need to see who's your client and how you're going to answer their questions, pretty much. So that's what
That's it. So, that's all right. That's all we need to know. Let's
yeah,
good to go.
Let's start. Give them a call. What would you like?
No, I'm just kidding.
No. How do you go about finding the right people to be involved in your business? Because I'm sure Collective Roasting Solutions is a brand that a lot of people want to be involved in as employees. I've experienced the issue whereby people want to be involved in the brand but don't really want to do the work to be involved with the brand. Have you experienced that?
Well, no, not really, because I think the culture
fuck
is...
you then.
Thank you. No, I tell you why, because I'm really lucky. I'm a very lucky human because I've got great people with me, you know, and I wouldn't have done without any one of them. 100%, you know. They're passionate, they hear, they do the work, they love what they do. But, you know, you have to set for this, you know, you have to be that person as well, where you want to be in a team where it's like, you know, flowing team, more and give them the opportunity, you know, like, you want to learn about podcasts, let's do it. You want to learn about roasting, let's roast the best of Panama, you know. Let's do it, you know. Let's learn together and let's do the mistakes together. And they're all my friends. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm really lucky. Like, I don't have an ad out there. They're all people like I know, and we all grow up together. Yeah. And we all like, hey man, do you want to work together? It's like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Do you want to help me doing this and that? And yeah, so I've got a really great team, and I'm very lucky, man, to have them all on behind me, you know. And I have a lot of friends, you and who supported me from day one, you know. And yeah, I know, right? But you never know. We're gonna support each other soon. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. You know, we can definitely have a week at the pop-up. Where, you know, we will serve your coffee, you know, and your members' coffee in there, and I don't see why not. Then vice versa. Yeah.
I've been trying to get Nawar to come out here for about 3 years, so I'm hoping that we can make that happen and see how it goes.
You know? I've been working 7 days a week since we opened.
Yeah. I think pretty much all three of us work 7 days a week. I don't know.
Yeah. Just don't stop.
It would be interesting to have you come out here once Elliot's got the co-op open and see if we can do like a coffee exchange or some cool shit like that.
Yeah, 100%, man. If you need anything, you can always, you know, ask me. And
thank you.
And I'll be more than happy to help out, you know.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I mean, it's really fun, and you know, I don't like to work by myself. I prefer to have a lot of people around. So.
Yeah, it's a little more. I enjoy my alone time though sometimes.
Elliot and I both have that in common. We like to just switch off and be like away from humans for a good chunk of the time.
Yeah,
Nawar thrives on being with people. Yeah, but do you have an after hours, bro?
Yes, you know, before I go to bed, maybe 1 hour is enough. It's like just chill.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, you know, you need the personality for it. Like, it's so important.
Yeah. But I think my biggest kind of question I had for you, you kind of answered it, I think the whole time, but was, do you feel that together you guys are making a better coffee and community? I think you answered it, but that was
Yeah, 100%. Like if one day when you come to our warehouse and have a look, and you'll be like going through all the green coffee section, and you kind of like think to yourself, probably we are one of the best roasters altogether in Australia, because the quality we buy is really, really good. Like they're all ethically sourced, you know, they all look for the best out there. Nobody wants the second best, you know, and we're probably the biggest single origin producer in the country. With the amount of single origin that comes out of the facility here, it's gigantic, you know, because yeah, they all start with single origin, right? Before they move to the blends, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just get, we buy from really, really good people, and we buy from people we enjoy working with, you know, and that's another thing, that you just want to work with the right people, really.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
What's the future, Noah? Go ahead, finish what you were going to say, sorry.
No, I can answer the future. I mean, the future is intense, you know, and for us, what we look into.
Such a Noah answer. I love it.
Yeah, it's. I think we're gonna become more of an institution down the track than just a roasting space.
Oh, yeah.
And you definitely want it to be an institution, because you're gonna create generations, you know, and you have to be ready for that. You know, you have to be ready to say goodbye to somebody who grown up enough and to have their own roastery, and accept it's gonna happen. And you have to say hello to the new guy who wants to roast their coffee, you know. So it's like you build that team bonding for 3 years with a certain roaster, and then now they're moving away. But they're moving away because they want to take responsibility, right? So it's like, yeah, why not? You know, and if I can offer you a support that will show a lot about you as well, not just cut them out and say, yeah, you're out, you know. And then, you know, get ready for the new guy to come in and do the same thing. So it's like a school, you know.
Yeah,
dude, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
just
thank you.
You know, for whatever it's worth, it's super for me as a friend watching you birth this brand and build it to what it is. It's been such a pleasure to watch it become the beginnings of an institution in Australia. Like, there are people who have other collective roasting places in Australia who realize that they probably don't stand a chance next to you guys if you happen to open in their city. And I mean, I've had that feedback directly, and I've been like, yep, that's my brother.
Well, you know, we tried, again, point of differentiation. You have to be, you cannot be a brand, you have to be a support brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the more support you give to the people, the more they will depend on it first. Second, they will appreciate it, because, you know, you're promoting them. And there's not many brands out there that promote other brands. I mean, especially in our industry. Maybe in the wine industry could happen, in other industries it's working. But in our industry, it's very rare you find that a roaster selling someone else's coffee on the shelf.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's what we talk about, like conspiring to each other's success so much. Like, we don't do it enough in the industry. There's plenty of people that drink coffee for all of us.
I'll give you an example. I would rather, like, you know, when a client comes to the pop-up and they'll be lost, right? It's because they've never seen so many options. You know, there's always like one brand with 6 million single origin, but it's one brand. You know, but then when they come to our place, like, damn, man, there's too many here. And it's not like in wine industry, they know what a Merlot and a Chardonnay and all that. They're kind of aware of what's expectation when you come to the coffee. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, perfect. When it comes to coffee, it becomes a little bit more tricky because they're not familiar with all these names. So I'm like, I would rather hold like Grayson Taylor bag and show it to them, because it fits what they're looking for. You know, it's not just my brand or this person brand. And you can see it, even like other guys grab other coffee and like, yep, you better buy this, you know, and it's not me talking about Stitch. It's another roaster selling my box.
That's amazing.
To another client, you know, and that is super powerful, you know, and that's what you want.
And for anyone that's listening to this wondering how that happens, that's all mindset. Like that's the person who's steering the ship, having a mindset of community, having a mindset of let's break barriers, let's forge a different culture, and then just instilling that in everything that is being done through the business, right?
Exactly, 100%. And you can't, like, if any green coffee guy wants to do a cupping, we don't say no. Like, we invite all the green coffee people. We invite all the other roasters to be part of it. We invite everybody. You know, there's no, I don't want this or that. You know, like we have such an open book. When we first started, we probably have, like, when I do cupping, about 2 or 3 people. You know, but you don't give up. That's the key. You know, you're gonna have 1, 5, 6, 5 for like 6 months. And then in a year time, it become 10, 12 people cupping. And now when you do a cupping, it's like we did one for Cafe Import, 50 people showed up.
Fuck.
Do you know what I mean?
50 people to a cupping?
Yeah.
How do you set that up?
We just have a lot of tables. Again, you have to invest in tables, and yeah, you have to be ready for it, you know, and 6, 7 boilers going on, and you have a team of cupping ninjas, you know.
Cupping ninjas. I love that. I'll come be a cupping ninja for you, Elliot.
It's like a ninjas, you know. They know what they're doing. Boom, 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 out. You know, like boom, boom, boom. The drink of the guys that bring the whole cupping, like, dang, what just happened? They don't need to do anything there. The whole thing is done, ready, roll, bang, you know. And I think that's the difference. And I think coming from a culture is really important, understanding the culture. Like our culture, I'm very similar to Lee. We are very hospitable type of culture as well. So
he means Arab. He doesn't want to say it. But that's what he means. He's an Arab. Our culture is all based on hospitality. The Arab culture is. Yes. So that's what he means.
That's right. You know. Yeah. The first 3 days. After that, after that you can go.
Fuck off after 3 days. We don't want you.
3 days. It's done. But. So that's something that, you know, when you hire, when you look for people to help you, Elliot, as well, look for people with similar traits. They are, you know, it's more about the people, and they love to help, because it's very crucial to this business.
On that note, do you have any more questions, Elliot?
No, my brain is pretty full.
Sorry, man.
No, it's great.
He's going to go and he's going to process all of that, and then he's going to have a million questions, and then he'll have his little project plan all done in his head, and he'll be like, right, we're opening by Christmas. When do you plan on opening, Elliot? Do you know?
I would like to open middle way through November. I was going to try to shoot for November, but it's looking middle November, December. I think I'm going to go to my first origin trip in Colombia.
Nice.
October, yeah. So that's going to take some time, and we have some employees leaving now in our cafe, and we have some new hires coming on. So as soon as I get a little more freed up there, so I think 2 months from now, about.
Fun times.
Yeah, I'm going to have some more questions for you though, Nawar, for sure.
Dude, I'll be more than happy to answer anything you want. Just give me a buzz, give me a call.
Thank you.
Know? And if you want to show me your setup or anything, or you want to see my setup, a video call.
Yeah, that might
show
be
you
great.
what we did, just to make sure that what we did is we put all the piping higher. So when you walk behind the roaster, there's nowhere anybody can trip or step on a gas pipe. So I think it's pretty smart. Just go high and up, and then feed the roasters. Safety is really important, so always be aware of that. And remember, they're not production guys. They didn't work in big warehouses. They don't understand how the layout. They don't understand of that. So you have to think from their point of view and how you're gonna manage your layout. So that's pretty important.
Yeah, because we were setting it up for a production kind of layout originally, so we might have to kind of
make it a human friendly.
Yeah.
Idiot proof is how I like to put it.
Well, yeah, sort of, you know, where it's you don't want them to kind of damage anything and put themselves in trouble.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, a different environment is a different environment. When I came out of the corporate world into coffee, the guy I was working with used to say, you know, Lee's got degrees and she's really smart and everything. As soon as something says caution hot surface, she touches it.
That's right. She just want to feel it.
Well, it was that I wasn't accustomed to looking up for that. You know, I could, my brain was wired in a different way. So I wasn't primed to look for something that said caution hot surface. So I was burning the fuck out of myself for the first month.
You're like, is it really? I will find out for myself.
I wasn't even noticing the stickers, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to look out for this stuff because that grip handle really, really burns. It wasn't heat protected back then. Nothing was fucking heat protected back then. Everything was hot and exposed, and anyway.
Yeah. So same thing you have to do with the roasters.
Yeah. So, Elliot, for anyone who does want to contact you about becoming a part of your new co-op, how should they go about doing that? Should they contact you through your social media or through email? Yeah,
through Instagram's great. Email as well. Elliot, ELLIOT at steadystateroasting.com.
Instagram.
And Instagram, just so you can message us at Steady State Roasting. I'll put you into the folder of the 10 or so other people that are already interested too.
Yeah.
And we'll get going. Yeah.
I think it would be cool for you as well to even have like a little bit of a introduction, like an introduction to roasting thing, just to, even though they're happy to wait for you to turn it on and get them, but give them the idea what expectation they have. I think that could be
maybe like a
one sheet, you mean?
Yeah, one sheet, or just get them in, just show them what you're doing at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
Or San Franciscan, or like maybe just to kind of like give them waiting, but patiently and passionately, and really can't wait for it.
With their appetite.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, and that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
We've got to get you over here, Nawar. It's got to happen sometime in the next year. Inshallah.
Hopefully. Inshallah, that's for sure.
All right, guys, this was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
If anyone wants to reach out to Nawar as well, hit him up on Collective Roasting Solutions on Instagram. And his team will happily help you out. All right, 100%. Guys. Thanks for this. This was awesome.
Thank you, Lee. It was amazing.
Thanks, Lee.
Nawar. Actually, I'll see you both next week.
Yes, well, you will see me and you'll see Elliot. But Elliot, I'll see you next year, according to Lee.
Okay, that sounds good.
I've made him promise he's coming. I've made him promise he's either going to come to the event or you're going to come here.
Okay, one way or another.
All right.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye.